Hey y'all, hey, what's up? We made it to Friday, day 9 of 29 with our financial love story, falling in love with your money. And we are talking about how negotiating is your best friend. And it is okay to not say yes right away or not say yes at all. So, negotiating may not always be fun. But it's important as high achieving women. We're awesome. We're amazing. We have all these skill sets. We are checking all these boxes. We're doing all these amazing things and we need to be able to use this skill set as a way to leverage our expertise and our excellence so that one, we are getting paid for the value that we are delivering. Also, we are making the money that we desire to make because we have these amazing skills that we can offer. So let's talk about some quick things, just a few things that you can think about when negotiating, how to negotiate, right? So that you can have more money in your job potentially, contracts, your financial deals, all those things. So if you're catching this live, put hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm Nashea Richardson. For those of you who do not know who I am, I'm the Play Money Coach. I work with high achieving professionals who want to learn how to manage their money like a boss so they have more play money to do the things they enjoy. And one of those ways we can have more play money is by negotiating, right? Now, this was not a skill that I always had, right? I wish I had negotiating skills primarily around where money was related. I could negotiate something else, like, hey, I could negotiate my son to go and wash the dishes, right? If I don't want to wash them, or maybe I can negotiate with my partner to on something for dinner that one of us doesn't want versus the other one does want it, right? So we can negotiate. And if you've negotiated anything in your life, put a one in the comments because I know we've all done it in some capacity. Whether or not we knew we were negotiating, we probably were. But let's talk about negotiating in financial situations, right? And depending on whether it's a job or your business, I want you to not be so quick to say yes, right, to the first thing that is offered to you. Now, for me, I remember when I got my first promotion. It was like a job was offered to me, right, and it was a salary position. And I was so excited that one, I got the job, and then two, I would be salaried, and three, what they offered me was what I was making with overtime in my previous position, that I didn't even like stop to like do a little research and see what I should be getting paid for that position. Do a little counter offer, nothing. I just said yes because I was like, "Ooh, this is great." And I didn't even think about it. Like, I didn't do the math, I didn't do anything. I just said yes. And then after I walked away, I still felt great about saying yes because it was the excitement of the position and all this other stuff. But then as I got into the role, they were still looking for me to do my old job along with that new job and get paid that money. Nah. No, 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 no. But I didn't know at the time, right? To do these things, some of the things that I'm going to share with you before I said yes, because I was so eager and excited about the opportunity that I was going to have and the work that I was going to be doing, that I kind of sold myself short. And then I didn't even position myself to ask for more money when I'm sure there was more money on the table. That was just probably the lowest amount that they were willing to give me. And then there was probably a range. More than likely, there was a range. So I want you to not be so quick to say yes to the first thing that is offered to you, whether that is in a job or a contract if you're a business owner. Or if you're doing like a financial deal, so maybe you're buying a car, right? Or you're buying a house or something like that. Don't be so quick to say yes because you're so excited about that opportunity. I know that sometimes it's just really hard to control that feeling, but stop, slow down, and don't make a quick reaction. Don't answer too quickly, right? Second, do your research and be clear on what you want to achieve and what your priorities are. So, depending on what you're negotiating, let's just talk about a job, for example. I will say that when I went to my uh, not my current job, but couple of jobs before this. I left my previous job, and it was like a new building for me, new everything. And I was willing to take a pay cut because I knew the long term goal. I knew the opportunities that were going to come with the new position. And I knew that I needed to be there, right? So I did my research, and their starting rate was actually more than what my previous job was paying, but the role that I was going into and coming from was less than what I was making. So my goal, my what I wanted to accomplish was to get into that agency. I didn't really care about the little pay cut, but I wanted to get into that agency because I knew the long term goal was the opportunities that came with getting into that agency. Secondly, instead of saying yes to what was offered to me because I got the opportunity to get in that agency, I talked to the HR person, the hiring person, to say, hey, this is what I'm making at my current job, and I'm willing to leave and go there, but can you meet me where I am so that I'm not losing any pay, or I'm only losing just a little bit to where it doesn't really affect me? And sure enough, they brought it to the board and they reviewed it, and they made a decision to start me at a higher rate than what was originally offered. Now, had I gone in very eager and just quick to say yes because I was excited about the opportunity, I wouldn't have gotten the higher pay, right? And then it would have positioned me to where I would have been making less throughout the time that I was with that employer. So just remember that, right? The third thing is be willing to be bold. Excuse me. So sometimes as women, we want to just not push back, and that's not all of us, right? Some of us are like, listen, I'm not playing. Like, I came here to accomplish something. We're going to get this accomplished, and I'm going to get paid what I desire to get paid, right? So be willing to be bold, right? Don't allow people to intimidate you into accepting something that maybe you're not comfortable with accepting, and be okay with opening your mouth to ask for what it is that you want. Sometimes we don't even know the opportunities that we could have had because we don't open our mouths and be bold and just ask for what it is that we want. So all they can do is say no, right? All they can do is say no, we can't offer you that, but we can do this, right? And then that's the opportunity where you can really look at what are your priorities? What were you trying to achieve there? Is it close to what your priority or what was important to you? And then you can say, okay, I'm willing to take that versus, what I originally asked for. But at least you asked for what it was that you wanted. Let them tell you no before you count yourself out and you take the lowest amount possible. And then number four is it's okay to walk away if it's not in alignment, because sometimes, again, we get excited about opportunities that come up for us, and we're like, oh, this is a speaking event, or this is a conference or a workshop or something that you've been maybe wanting to work towards, and maybe they want you to travel, and they're not willing to pay for your travel. They're not willing to pay for you to speak. They just want you to be there. And they offer you visibility. Well, it costs to travel, right? It costs to take some days off and arrange for your child to have child care and all the things, right? Those things cost. It costs for you to be in that space. So maybe it's okay to say no in that situation, because one, you're not getting compensated for any of your time, and the visibility is not necessarily worth the reward. And then there's other times where it is worth it, right? But we'll talk about that in a second. But if none of it aligns to what you are working towards, so if it's not going to give you the exposure to your ideal clients, it's not going to position you to, have other events that you can go to that will be paid, it's not going to position you to sell a product or a service, or it's not going to benefit you at all, and you're just doing it because someone offered it to you and you're like, yay, I got an opportunity. Maybe that's the time where you say, you know what, I appreciate the opportunity, thanks for asking me, but this is not in alignment with the direction that I'm going in right now. And it's okay to walk away, because you know what ends up happening is you have an opportunity that's more aligned and a better fit for you that usually will come up right after that. It's almost like you're being tested. Like, you said you wanted this, but let me see if something else is offered to you, if you're just going to take that instead of being patient for the thing that you said that you truly wanted, right? So it's almost like you're being tested. Um, and the other thing is, sometimes it is okay to negotiate something even if you're not getting paid for it, because there may be a bigger reward than actually getting than monetarily in that moment. There's a lot of things that I have done for free. One, when I was first starting out and I wanted to get my name out there so people knew what I was doing, they knew who I was, they knew, my expertise. I can show up and prove that, listen, I'm dope. I'm as dope as I say I am, right? And there was a lot of things that I did for free. And I will tell you that almost everything that I've done for free that I can think about has led to something paid after. It may not have been immediately, but it led to something paid, whether it was a year after or, excuse me, 6 months after, it led to something paid because someone saw me doing that thing that I was doing for free. And they reached out to me to say, hey, could you do this for me? And I will pay you. I also was bold enough to say, hey, what is your budget for speakers, for a financial wellness instructor, for a financial coach to come in? What is your budget? Because that's the other thing too that we want to get comfortable with asking. So sometimes we um, cut ourselves short because we throw out a number and it may not even be what we want, right? We're probably not even being bold. Like I said, be bold. And we throw out a number when they were willing to pay us a lot more. So it's safe to ask, what is your budget? And let them tell you what it is that they can pay you. And then that is when you can then go back to the other things, right? What are you trying to achieve? What is your priority? Is it in alignment with the direction or what you said that you wanted, right? Because then that gives you the opportunity to say, you know what, I appreciate that you're offering, I don't know, let's say $500 for this thing. My fee is typically $2,500. And right now I just can't do it because, I have to make sure that I'm available for other opportunities that may come available. Or you may say, like, listen, that $500 is great because I'm also going to get in front of my ideal clients. I can also position myself. I can use this for promotion. I can use the videos and the pictures that I get and put them on my website and then start showing people that this is what I do and get my name out there and get my expertise out there. So now more people see this is what I do. And now this is going to position me for more opportunities, right? So it's okay if you want to take the $500 versus the $2,500, but just make sure it feels good for you and it doesn't feel out of alignment. You're comfortable with that decision. And the other thing is you don't have to answer to nobody else but yourself. So if you're afraid that someone's going to find out that you got paid $500 instead of $2,500, you worried about the wrong thing, because there's people that would die to not necessarily die, but they would love to have that opportunity for that $500 versus the $2,500. But I'm also not saying that you have to settle, right? Because if it doesn't feel good for you, it's okay to walk away and be willing to be bold to say, this is not it. This is not what I'm looking for right now, and I'm going to have to pass. So negotiating is your best friend. And remember to, again, use these things in financial deals too. So if you're buying a new vehicle or you're buying a new home, or let's say, what else could you buy? All the things, right? Anything that you can buy, and there's an opportunity, there's some wiggle room, right? Be willing to ask for what it is that you want, that you want to pay for that thing. And you will be surprised that some people are just like, listen, I need this money and I'm willing to give it up for that. Go ahead and take it and give me that $10,000 versus the $15,000, right? Or they may, maybe they, raise the price a little bit more, but they also have their bottom line that they are okay with getting down to that bottom line. And if you meet them at that bottom line, they may be willing to say yes to whatever it is that you offer, that negotiating back and forth, right? But remember to be patient. Don't be so excited that you say yes to everything and then afterwards you walk away feeling defeated or feeling like, man, I could have asked for more, or this doesn't feel really good for me. Do your research so that you can really identify what it is, what you could be getting paid for whatever it is that thing costs. If you're negotiating a financial deal, so if you're buying something from someone or whatever, do your research, see what that thing costs before you just go and offer a number and it could be worth a lot less than what that person is trying to sell it for. Be willing to be bold. So ask for what it is that you want, because all they can do is say no, but I can do this, or just no, right? But if you don't ask for what you want, you will never know if you were able to get it, right? So don't lowball yourself just because you don't want to, go in there bold. Be bold. It's okay. And it's okay to walk away if it's not in alignment with your goals or what you're trying to achieve, or what you're working towards in your business, your life, your gut. If it's not in the line, it's okay to walk away. So if you guys are going to do some negotiating, put a 2 in the comments. I know it can be scary if you've never done it before, but I'm telling you, you've done it at some point in your life, whether it was you negotiating with your kids, you negotiating with your partners, your friends, your siblings, your whoever. It may not have felt like negotiating because maybe you weren't necessarily talking about a business deal or money, but you were probably negotiating on what restaurant you're going to go to, or who's cooking family dinner during the holidays, or which child is going to do what chores, right? So we all negotiate at some point, even though we may not feel like it is negotiating in that moment. So, yeah, that was day 9. And here I am again. I'm not even prepared to talk about what am I going to talk about tomorrow. Let me pull up my sheet, because I keep forgetting to pull this up before I get started. And then I get thrown off because I'm not prepared on what I'm talking about tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow, which is day 10, excuse me, I'm going to talk about, the power of compound interest. So I talked about getting your money to work for you. I talked about investing, right? Getting your money in a high yield savings account interest. But let's talk about why that's important, which is compound interest. And this is exciting for me when I can explain to you the difference of what your money could do if you're earning 4% versus 7% with the same amount of money, so that you can see the numbers to say wow, it really makes sense for me to start investing as soon as possible versus waiting, because compound interest is like your side piece. It's not your main, but it's your side piece working for you. Let's not use that analogy. But compound interest is your best friend, right? It's a good thing, right? It's a positive thing that's really getting your money to work for you, which is why it's so important that we start investing as sooner as retirement. So yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow for day 10 of 29, and we're going to talk about the power of compound interest and what exactly is compound interest, so that you can see what it actually does for our money as we are investing. So y'all have an awesome evening. Stay safe. Later.